How you doing, guys? Good to see you here. Today I'm gonna bring you deck profile. This is MLB with the new promo. I did play tested this deck at my local tournament. This does not have this promo. It's currently playing the new Grade 1 order, but I only managed to get my hands on one. But even if you don't get your hands on it, there's still a couple ways to play the deck without it. So without further ado, let's get started. And I want to, give my, thoughts on the deck for sure. Since a couple people at my store, local card shop, told me a couple things to change to do. They told me a couple things to change the deck, but I told them that I really wasn't interested in doing those changes since the deck was already built in a very particular way. And I did pretty good, to be honest. My first game was against first game was against Granfia. Second game was against Liel. I lost to the OT. That sucks. Third game was Tegra. Lost to the OT. And fifth game was against Vargas. And I won it. Just never got the fourth damage, so they couldn't use the divine skill. So everything was pretty easy to guard and all that stuff. So anyways, those were my matchups. Now when it comes to my right deck, is this the bread and butter. So Blaster Blade, some people told me to run the Blaster Dark just for the extra drive check. Now and that's one person. The other person told me to run another great one that has the effect to just call itself to the back row. I really don't know why. Something to call itself to the back row or something. This is the only reason why I do like Marin, and you should play Marin. So obviously some people could, once the new promo comes out, you can play the other promo, but obviously in here, if your opponent damage denials you, it still don't matter because you just really want to play any blaster on top of Marin just to get access to any blaster. Usually Blaster Dark, but even if you hit Blaster Blade right now, since there are currently 7 copies in the that you can hit, it's still pretty good. So and the fact that she looks at top 7, is good. Mainly, you don't really want to whiff. Unlike PBO, you really don't want to whiff with her. So you can just basically add that extra card to your hand just for late game. It really comes up a lot. And if they damage denial you, the only thing you lose is will just one retire, and you don't draw a card. So yeah, other than that, I feel like this is perfect. You don't really have to change anything. So I would not change this right line at all. I would prefer playing the Marin. I already explained it. So yeah, if someone tells you no, you could give it a try. But from my experience, Marin will never whiff, at least in MLB. In PBO, it might be different, but in MLB, you really want to see those blasters, especially Blaster Dark. So yeah, anyways, that's going to be the right deck. I'm gonna put it in here since the Lair always fucks it up. Yeah, anyways, so for grade 3s, I was playing ladder. I still haven't got the Caliburn yet. But this card wasn't the best. I feel like Caliburn would have been better. There were a couple times where I was out of counterblast since the game went a little bit long. And you could go into the long games for sure. You don't really mind. But I feel like the Caliburn would have been better. So this will definitely be the Caliber. And just drawing 2 as a pot of greed or countercharging will be the best option. So this is the only card that I will change for the Caliber. I do have the card, but it never arrived on time. So yeah, Caliber. So that's it for the grade 3s. For grade 2s, this is where the magic happens. 3 Blaster Darks. You really don't want to see this as your starting Vanguard. You really don't want to have the counterblast to get the extra drive check. You just really want to see this guy on the field when MLB is out, just for the only reason that you really want that triple drive check. That triple drive check, especially if you have already Blaster Blade on the soul, it's extremely scary. for sure. Just drive checking 3 cards by himself. If he doesn't have any boost, he will basically, if you hit all 3 triggers, it's going to be 43. Or, you know, the chances of getting the OT are higher still. The fact that he goes double, you could finish a bunch of games pretty quick if you get the OT too. So you could go either crit into the OT and just 4 damage. So that could seal the game pretty fast. So yeah, you really want to see, at least in my experience, all games that I play, and even all the games that I play tested and all that stuff, you really want to see this. So maxing out in the main deck, it's the way to go. So yeah, if someone says otherwise, this is not PBO, this is MLB. Next, playing 3 copies of Blaster Blade. This could be something else. I was thinking of just cutting 1, but I don't wanna whiff with the Marin. Once the new promo comes out, this one, I'll probably just cut 1 so I can have at least 10 targets to hit with the Marin. So she looks at top 7, so the chances are a little bit more higher. But 3 are pretty good, super amazing. If you add it to your hand, you could guard it, or you could use it to discard. So no problem whatsoever. And the other thing that I really did a lot, and I really want to mention it right now, is that, oh yeah, before this, I'm getting ahead of myself. At least this build, you really don't mind discarding your copies of Blaster Darks for the right deck, and I will explain it later. The other thing that I was thinking is cutting 1 Blaster Dark and playing another, one of the other Raid 2s, this being this one, just because you could just play this and just revive it and you just have another column. If you did Persona, super good. So yeah, but other than that, yeah. This to rush, this on turn 2 was freaking amazing. This, usually I always hit a Blaster Dark and a Blaster Blade. So on turn 2, she was just by 20, so I could just attack with Blaster Dark on rear guard, Blaster Blade, then attack with the Vanguard. Usually they don't guard it, and then this is going to be a 20 or a 30, so it really depends on how they do it. It puts a lot of pressure, so this card, it's amazing. So usually I didn't mind just spending this card, just getting all this. Usually your opponent will panic and just start retiring their cards with, you know, card effects and all the stuff, so it really don't matter. Now, since this deck doesn't really have too much counterblast, the only counterblast is with the Grade 1. The other way to use another counterblast is by this card. This card, it's super freaking amazing. I literally underestimate this card, and I will definitely play another copy. I'll cut 1 Blaster Blade and cut another and play another copy of herself, or cut this and play another copy of her, because she is amazing. If I saw her and a Blaster Dark in my hand, I felt free to discard a Blaster Dark with no problem, because once MLB was on the field, I could just go ahead and play her. Look at the top card of the deck. That's another thing. You can look at the top card of your deck, and you could play that mind game with your opponent. You could just, you know, if it's nothing, you could just bluff that it's a critical or something, and your opponent will probably overguard. It happened to me a couple of times in the tournaments. Where I just bluffed, they overguarded, I didn't have anything, cool. So yeah, but mainly sometimes, and it happened too, where I just look at the top card, it was Blaster Dark, send it to the drop, effect, counterblast, and just revive him. So it's extra ways to get Blaster Dark on the field. So yeah, the one time I did lost, it was against Sorga. All 4 Blaster Darks went to my damage. And yeah, that was very catastrophic. There was no way for me to win, and I did not heal a single one in order to, you know, get it back with this. But this card, it's amazing. I love it. I will play 4 copies if I have the space. So yeah. Finally, but not least, this could be another card. Like I said, this could be another copy of this, or this could be the new promo that I only managed to get my hands on 1, and this promo is super good. So yeah, this card, just to use energy. Look at the top card. You can either leave it on top. It could be a trigger. It could be a heal trigger. It could be something. If not, you can just call it and get plus 10k. So it's pretty good. You know, calling something like a Blaster Dark, Blaster Blade, and it's just a 15k shield. It's super good. But this could be something else. So these cards are just cards that I would definitely change. They're not that great. I just needed some space. But yeah, this could be even the new promo. But yeah. Next, for great ones, just to start running up to get the deck profile. I don't want to make it too long. So 4 copies of Cordelia. When you see her, she's amazing. You counterblast 1. You can sometimes counterblast 1 and just call the Blaster Dark to the back. So your opponent has a tough time retiring it. You really don't care about Blaster Blade, to be honest. You can just call Blaster Dark to the back. Hope he doesn't dies, and if it dies, don't matter. There are a couple ways to bring it back. Obviously, depending on what you play, if you're playing again Vladimir, the new Dark State guy that just banished cards face down. Don't even try doing this effect, to be honest, unless you have extra Blaster Blades and Blaster Darks on the soul, because it's not worth it. In that case of that matchup, I just discard her. She's not that useful from time to time, especially since you have 4. If you see this in your opening hand, discard it. It don't matter. Just you will see 1 eventually, especially with the cat. Cat is amazing. I really want to play another copy, but I'm tight on space. This card is amazing. Obviously, the shield is good, and the other effect is that this card will just get you what you need. Sometimes you need a Blaster Dark, boom, gets you a Blaster Dark. Sometimes you need her, boom, gets you this. If you need anything else, the cat will get it for you. And it's just an extra body on the field, especially on those Persona turns. Super good. Really like the cat, and I'll definitely play 2 copies if I have the space. So yeah. Other than that, super amazing card. I will probably cut 1 so I can play another 4 copies of the Ordeal Dragon, but I'll get to this later. 4 copies of Sargon. This card is amazing, especially there are some situations where you could just swarm the field. Everything is going to be a decent number, and it will hit magic numbers 43, 30, 38, 58, 53. Sargon is amazing. On top of that, you can just retire it and empty up the field so your opponent doesn't have anything to retire, or in case they need to choose something from the field. It's super amazing. I love it, especially the fact that if you get +5, yeah. Obviously, I'm playing the ladder. You could have some synergy in there, but if you manage to get your hands on 4 copies of Ordeal Dragon, this will definitely be your ratio. Just get rid of this 3 cards and play 3 copies of Ordeal Dragon. Because this card, when I saw it, it was amazing. But now I'm going to explain it. So yeah. So this card is a new promo card. It's amazing. It does. Oh yeah. On top of that, just to random the entire great ones, PG, so I can explain this card fast. If you have Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark on your soul, it gets +5, so it's a 13. You can just play it on the front row. This is better than Sargon just for the only reason that at the end of the battle that this card boost or attack, you put this card into the soul, look at top 7 and add a blaster to your hand. This adds to your personas, this adds to your Blaster Darks. It just filters your deck. And the fact that it just gets out of the field, it's super good, so your opponent can't really do much. Obviously, the only annoying part is that, well, at the next turn you probably won't have, but it's just another card that substitutes itself, and you get to pick what you want without having to have the option with, I was like, oh my god, I look at top 2, they were both triggers, so you have to add 1 trigger so you don't really, feel bad, It's good to have an extra shield, but this is good because it gives you to your combo pieces. So early game, this card's amazing. So you can play the Marin and then play this if you want second, then attack with this. Soul, look at top 7, add a blaster, and go from there. So this card is amazing. I already said, just get rid of this, and a Sargon, and you're all set. I already went to the other cards, and now to round up all the cards. Because I really hate doing very long Vanguard videos. 9 criticals. This PG is amazing. Will get you your Blaster Dark. That's it. Nothing else. You see Blaster Dark, add Blaster Dark, or add the Dual Nation unit. Super good. Super amazing. Will not change this. I was planning on playing the the purple one to heal you one, but you go all ins. Either you sack your opponent or you don't. Going for heals, for draws. Front triggers are good for the shield, but sometimes you will have those extra 5k that will just, 10k shield is okay. It's very rare that you do that, but once the new promo comes out, this one new blaster comes out, the deck it's gonna get better and more consistent. And then the 4 heals, and that's it for the deck profile. Literally super straightforward. Like that's it. I just really wanted to do a deck profile of the current deck, because yeah, like I said, I wanted to do a deck profile with, where the frick is the dog? The dog disappeared. Anyways, I just wanted to do a deck profile with the dog. Dog is super amazing. Especially, obviously now you can upload a deck list and go from there. As a code, and cool. Obviously, I could do I could put a deck code in the description below, so you don't have to go through my entire deck list. Sadly, I should have said that at the beginning. But I'll probably just put it in the description below, so you can just copy it and go from there. Use my deck profile as a reference, and yeah. Other than that, well, going to CD out.